Welcome back to Echo Base Network, guys. I am Nicholas Glenn, and I'm coming to you with a late night stream. So I was going to do this way earlier, but got caught up doing some work stuff, so I'm just now getting around to it. So this is something me and Coach were going to do, but he has been tied up with other stuff, and so I was going to do a video, but I was like, I'll just go live and just cover this live because I'm going to actually go over an article and go over a video here. So let me get to the article. So the article is going to be on Rian Johnson and if he's going to be directing an episode of The Mandalorian. So here's the article. This was put out by Screen Rant. What's going on, Tom? Yeah, I'm just going through some of this Ron Johnson stuff. I can shoot you a link if you want to jump in here and chit chat on it. I was going to cover an article and then go over a video that was put out by Justin is Lost. But hang on, Tom. I'll send you the link if you want to jump in. You don't have to, but if you want to, I'll shoot it over to you. All right. So here is the article that was put out by Screen Rant. Ron Johnson reportedly spoke to Mandalorian producer about directing an episode. Ron Johnson has reportedly spoken to Mandalorian producer Dave Filoni about directing an episode, though it isn't happening just yet. Ron Johnson has talked to Dave Filoni on the episode. First live-action show emerged. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read the stuff that we already pretty much know about. Let's see here. Here we go. So since February, author Sierra Wilson has been revealing bits of a conversation she recently had with Johnson. Her latest reveal pertains to Johnson and The Mandalorian. She asked him if he would ever consider directing an episode of the series. According to Wilson, he said he was dying to, but that for him it's all about scheduling. Johnson is currently in the midst of preparing for Knives Out 2, so any potential Mandalorian job would hinge on his schedule freeing up. Additionally, Wilson and Johnson has spoken to Dave Filoni about it, having visited the set during season 1. Obviously, he's not working on his trilogy that he's supposed to be getting. I guess he's just working on Knives Out 2. But there's the tweet that she put out the other day where she said, asked him about, directing an episode of directing an episode of The Mandalorian. Filoni has previously said Johnson had a big impact on his first experiences as a director, so it'd almost be full circle to have Filoni then recruit The Last Jedi helmer for The Mandalorian. Of course, this does not mean Johnson is guaranteed to direct a future episode, but evidently conversations have at least taken place. If he were to board The Mandalorian, Johnson would join an impressive list of directors that already includes Filoni, Robert Rodriguez, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Taika Waititi. Johnson will be sticking around in the Star Wars universe as he still has a trilogy in the works. Yeah, right. Sure he does. Before that, though, he'll be working on his original crime property, Knives Out, which recently saw its sequel shift to Netflix in a massive deal. Johnson remains a controversial figure within the Star Wars franchise, but it's hard to deny his talent as a filmmaker. Many would be interested to see what he would do with a Mandalorian episode, and only time will tell if they ever will. And that's pretty much the article. So just my thoughts on the article itself. I'll be surprised if Ron Johnson does anything with Star Wars ever again. just given the fact that so many people hated The Last Jedi, and it really divided the fandom. But me personally, I don't think he's a bad director. I just think he's bad for Star Wars. He wrote The Last Jedi, came up with a lot of those stupid ideas. And if he's not writing anything and all he's doing is directing and being told what to shoot and what to do, it might not be bad. He might do a fine job just, doing that. But I definitely don't want him writing any more episodes or anything like that. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But another one of our subs, I don't know if you guys know who Justin Has Lost is. He's a new up-and-coming YouTuber. He put this video out 2 days ago. And his channel's fairly new. I don't think he's been around too long, but he's already crossed the 6,000 mark. So we're going to take a listen to hear what he says, and I'll stop and pause this. And I actually put a link in the description for this video right here into his channel if you guys want to go check it out. Stupid ads. So that right there, Filoni kind of being on board with that feminist agenda. From what... Oh, you can't hear anything, Clifton? Let's see. Let me stop screen sharing. Share audio. All right, let me back this up. Can you guys hear that? Still no audio? Oh, well, this might help. I forgot to add it. All right.
So it seems like for a lot of Star Wars fans, Dave Filoni may have just ruined the Star Wars universe, especially the Mandalorian universe, which is the universe that most of us, probably you watching this video, most look forward to in the future of Star Wars. And I hate to break it to you, but
it's very soft. Hang on. I might be able to fix that.
But Dave Filoni is not the person that I thought he was. He's not the person that you thought he was, and he will eventually ruin Star Wars if he is given the chance to. And I'm going to explain to you why that is and give you the facts that Dave Filoni is not who we thought he was. He's not this person that's against the feminist agenda. He's not this person that's only for storytelling. He actually loves the feminist agenda. He actually actively pushed it into the sequel trilogy, and I have facts to back that up. But first, we have some really bad news for most of you watching this.
All right, so that right there, what he's saying on Filoni being part of the female feminist agenda and stuff, he's been on record of making comments, to kind of support that kind of stuff. So he's definitely not wrong there on that aspect, and I definitely agree. I mean, I have my criticisms of Filoni. I think what he's given us has been better than what Ron Johnson and JJ's given us for sure, or any of Kathleen Kennedy's story group. But yeah, he's got his fair share of criticisms himself for sure.
this video. For me, it's not that bad of news, but I know a lot of you are going to hate this news that I'm about to tell you, and I know a lot of you are going to hate me for what I'm about to say about this news, because I think I have a different opinion than most of you. But this woman named Soraya Wilson, I think is how you pronounce it, did an interview with Rian Johnson where she asked him a bunch of questions, and I believe it was in a Zoom call a few months ago, and we've been getting drip fed this information over months and months of time. She's giving us this information extremely slowly, but she just dropped another bomb on us. She just dropped another piece of information that could absolutely shatter the Star Wars fandom, and it kind of did in a way. Soraya Wilson tweeted, "I asked Rian if he'd ever considered doing an episode of The Mandalorian. He said he was dying to, but for him it's all about scheduling. He's been writing Knives Out too, and now he's going to go directly into filming it, so it would be a matter of finding time to break away and do it." He said he has spoken to Dave Filoni about it, and he had gone and visited the set during season 1. He said it was so cool, and I told him I was very jealous. He said he had seen Baby Yoda months before the reveal. So I know that news is going to shatter a lot of your dreams and break a lot of your hearts, but I'm here to tell you that it's not actually that bad of news. But first I want to address your initial thought that Dave Filoni would never bring Rian Johnson in to direct an episode. He knows what Rian Johnson did to Star Wars. He hated those movies. He hated the storytelling in the sequel trilogy. Dave Filoni would never hire Rian Johnson to direct an episode of The Mandalorian. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Dave Filoni actually played a huge part in the storytelling decisions for the sequel trilogy, and in particular he played a huge part in pushing that feminist agenda that we saw throughout the entire trilogy. A lot of that was either Dave Filoni's ideas, or he pushed the ideas that others had even further, but either way Dave Filoni loved pushing that feminist agenda, and he even used words like patriarchy and matriarchy. This article is from Disney. Star Wars is dumb, so yes, a little bit biased, but the headline of this article says, "Lose your faith in Dave Filoni, all ye who enter here." And let's get this straight before we go into this article. I was a huge Dave Filoni fan, and I still am until he proves me wrong, but this definitely puts a stain on his resume. This definitely makes me think that Jon Favreau is the real hero of the Star Wars universe, the real hero of the Mando verse, and that if it was just Dave Filoni alone making that universe, if it was Dave Filoni alone making The Mandalorian, it would be no different from the sequel trilogy. Once again, I keep reiterating this over and over again, but Jon Favreau is the glue that holds that entire universe together. If Jon Favreau wasn't there, then Dave Filoni would 100% give into Kathleen Kennedy's feminist agenda, and maybe he wouldn't even be giving into it because it seems like he actually likes pushing that agenda as well.
Yeah, so I agree with his take on that for sure. I definitely think that Jon Favreau is the main source behind the good content of Star Wars that we've been getting. And I saw one comment from here. Let me go back to it. Let's see. Vertical Horizons. Filoni will follow whoever holds his leash. And I actually agree with that. You know, he's kind of on board with Kathleen Kennedy and kind of her agenda pushing of things. But I think Jon Favreau has kind of watered a lot of that down and kept a lot of that from being for being too much in any of The Mandalorian, because, you know, other than a couple things in there kind of sprinkled throughout, especially that final episode of season 2 where, you know, the guy Mandalorian that was with Bo-Katan in them, he was nowhere to be found, and then it was like the whole group of women that was going in there for the assault and stuff. So, you know, it's definitely there somewhat, but it's not too terribly bad.
Publication of The Art of the Rise of Skywalker has confirmed that no one at Lucasfilm knows what the hell they're doing without the strong guiding hand of George Lucas. So if you think Filoni is your savior, guess again. A reader posted a scan from the book which had the following text in it. In The Art of Rise of Skywalker, Phil Szozak wrote, Lucasfilm executive creator Doug Chiang wondered, since these 3 films are a female-driven story, where's Leia in episodes 8 and 9? So it was decided before the story was even planned out, before the story was decided for the sequel trilogy, that it was going to be a female-driven story. Like we've all predicted, like we've all speculated, that was the first thing that they came up with. It's not a narrative driven, it's not a story driven thing that they're doing over there at Disney Star Wars. They're only trying to push an agenda, and this article, this excerpt from this book, The Art of the Rise of Skywalker, proves that, and even Dave Filoni is in on it. So it was known right from the start that the story in the Disney trilogy wasn't going to be driven by wars in the stars, but by female genitalia instead. In the same book, Dave Filoni is quoted as saying, there's a potential idea there about the matriarchy coming back and subverting what has always been dominantly patriarchal and male heroes, Zeus, Hercules, and everything else. else. John Knoll then says the super intriguing setup in Empire, that boy is our only hope. No, there is another. I felt cheated in Jedi that really didn't go anywhere. But maybe Yoda is really talking about what happens with Leia in 30 years in the future. And honestly, I'm not super against that. I think that's actually kind of a good idea. But once again, you don't have to put down the male characters in the story to build up the female character.
Yeah, so, and I'm in total agreement there too. You know, if they're gonna have these female characters, you don't have to destroy the male characters that are also a part of it or that came before them to kind of build them up. You know, they should be able to stand on their own character and their own merit in the story.
One day Hollywood will realize that. I don't know when that's going to be. Still seems like they're going in the wrong direction as of now. To which Dave Filoni replies, I love that. We should shift it so Leia is the Obi-Wan of the entire trilogy. It's dangerous because it makes it so about the women of Star Wars. Something to me says that's right. There is something happening culturally. You look at birth, regeneration, the world itself needing healing. All of those things are emblematic of the mother character in myth. They are all matriarchal things. Mother Earth itself, global warming is a hot topic. So this is the guy that we all thought was our hero. This is the guy that we thought was creating the Mandalorian universe, that was saving Star Wars, and it's clear that's not the case. It's clear that if Jon Favreau wasn't on set with Dave Filoni, that it would be no different from the sequel trilogy in the sense that there would be a feminist agenda pushed in it. And I have no question that Dave Filoni would be able to tell a better story than the sequel trilogy told, but it's clear that he would want to push a feminist agenda in everything that he does, because he was the one that was pushing those ideas in the sequel trilogy. He was the one that when these ideas were brought up, he pushed them even further. He wanted the women to be more powerful than the men, more than anyone else in that room, or at least that's how the book made it out to seem. And I just want to make it clear that there's nothing wrong with Leia being powerful. There's nothing wrong with Leia being that Obi-Wan figure, but you don't have to put down Luke in order to make Leia look good. You don't have to bring down the men in the story to make the women look powerful. So it's clear that Dave Filoni is not our hero. It's Jon Favreau. He is the hero of the Star Wars universe. He is the creator of the Mandalorian universe that we know and love. But now I'm about to say something that's going to make you hate me for sure. And that's
so that right there, I also think he made some good points there. You know, again, kind of forcing the point of, you know, it's not Filoni that is kind of giving us this good Star Wars content. You know, I give way more credit to Jon Favreau, who kind of built this universe. If this was all being done by Filoni, just like Vertical Horizon said in the chat earlier, you know, he would do whatever they were wanting him to do. You know, whatever, you know, agenda they wanted to push, or however they wanted the stories to go with the characters and who they wanted to build up or tear down. He just would have went along with it and probably would have pushed it and forced it even more. And Jon Favreau, I don't think he's into all that, so I'm sure that he's probably pushed back on a lot of ideas that he might have gotten from Filoni, you know, on kind of pushing these female characters out there and kind of building them up to be, you know, super OP over all the male characters and that sort of thing. So let's continue.
That I don't think Rian Johnson directing a Mandalorian episode is a bad thing, and I actually think it's a great thing. I actually think he would make the best Mandalorian episode that we've ever seen, and please hear me out why. Rian Johnson has made some great movies in the past. I know The Last Jedi isn't a good Star Wars movie. I agree with you on that. The storytelling is lackluster in that movie, but he has made some great movies, in my opinion, like Looper and like Knives Out. But he's made even better television episodes, and I think the reason behind that is because he didn't have much say in the storytelling. He was just a director for the television episodes. But he
so that right there is kind of what I was saying earlier. I don't have any issue with Ron Johnson's directing skills as long as he's not involved in any of the storytelling or any of the writing of the story or any changes to the story, and he's being told what to do by Favreau and the writers that the story that the universe that Favreau's building up. I think Ron Johnson would be fine, you know, directing the episode. I don't think it would be a hot mess like The Last Jedi was.
directed some of the best episodes of Breaking Bad, and he directed the episode that most Breaking Bad fans think is the best episode of all time, possibly even the best television episode of all time, period. And that's the episode of Ozymandias. And I think the reason for that is because he doesn't have much say in the storytelling. He's not the greatest storyteller in the world, but the man can direct a movie, and he damn sure can direct a television episode, which is why I think he would be great for The Mandalorian. I think if you combine Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni's storytelling, as much as I don't like Dave Filoni anymore because of what he did for the sequel trilogy, him and Jon together especially are very good storytellers. And I think if you combine their storytelling with Rian Johnson's directorial skills, you could have the best episode that we've ever seen of The Mandalorian. And I know you're gonna hate me for that, but if you really sit down and think about it logically, don't be blinded by your hate of The Last Jedi, think about this logically, and you will realize that Rian Johnson directing a Mandalorian episode is actually a very good thing. And I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will recognize that. I think Jon Favreau is probably holding back a little bit on bringing Rian Johnson on, but I think eventually even Jon Favreau will give in because he knows how talented Rian Johnson is. And Jon knows, like I know, that if they combine their storytelling skills with his direction skills, they can make some of the best Star Wars of all time. But let me know what you guys think about Dave Filoni not being the person we thought he was, not being the actual hero of Star Wars.
And that's pretty much it. But I like I said, I'm not against Ron Johnson directing the episode, you know, as long as he's not a part of any of the storytelling. So let me see what you guys are saying here. If I can get the comments over here. Let's see. Rex Hutchinson, I hate it when YouTubers edit videos like they don't take a breath. Yeah. There's several that I've put together where I tried to not make it like that, but I cut out so much of the pauses when I'm like looking at information or something like that, so there's not, you know, a long silent delay. Sketch Therapy, he's making good points. Yeah, I thought he made some very good points there. That's why I wanted to share that video. And like I said, it comes from Justin Is Lost YouTube channel. He's actually a sub to us. And there's a link in the description of this to that video and to his channel if you guys want to check him out. Vertical Horizons, Filoni was poisoned by the dark side of Kennedy. Once she took power, he had a hand on the dagger that stabbed George and Star Wars in the back. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Vertical Horizons. Again, if it was just Filoni doing all this, it probably wouldn't be as good as what we've gotten. And don't get me wrong, I got my criticisms of season 1 and 2 of The Mandalorian. But there's not anything in either of the two seasons that's as damaging to Star Wars as the sequel trilogy was, in my opinion. Mega says, did you speed up this guy's vid, or is he just fast talker? Yeah, I did not speed up his video. That was normal speed. Let's see here. Crazy Mad. I'd hate Ron Johnson touching Star Wars, but I don't care if he directs an episode as long as John is getting the writing and producing credit. Yeah, and I'm on board with you there for sure. Rex, it's the way it's edited. Yeah. XR Coon, the Dark Side, Cosmic Entity. I never trusted Dave Filoni. He is a weak beta soy boy SJW. Again, you're not wrong there. For sure. Filoni is a merc, not a leader. Again, I agree. For sure. He'll do the job, but he's not going to give you a vision. Yep. Sketch Therapy, that was Filoni. I didn't know that. Yeah. And there was a lot of stuff in there that he brought up that I probably remembered or knew at one point in time, but had completely forgot about it. Ray J, this dude needs to lay off the caffeine. The Fly. Oh, Sketch Therapy. Yeah, The Fly. So Ron Johnson directed the Fly episode of Breaking Bad. If you've not seen Breaking Bad, one of the episodes he directed in that show was the Fly episode, which is considered by a lot of people to be one of the best episodes of Breaking Bad. Of course, he just directed it. He didn't write it or anything. Of course, caffeine or cocaine. uh, Decaf, my man. Yeah. Uh, it's hard to listen to. It's so unnatural. I didn't like that episode. You took smart, calculating man and made him go nuts over a fly. Seemed out of character, and I think Fring would have said, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?" Yeah, uh, that's a good point. That's definitely a good point. Walt, he was kind of uh, at that point in time in his life and everything that he was doing. Like I think he just lost it, mentally. I think mentally he had lost it. I don't know. Johnson still don't sit right with me. I'm gonna just wait to see how this goes. Yeah, Ron Johnson. I would prefer him to not have anything to do with Star Wars at all, directing anything at all. But if he did do it, you know, it might not be that terrible. Not like the Last Jedi was. Crazy Matt, I like Justin as loss. His vids are clickbaity, but his live streams with ABJ, which is a Black Jedi, and I think it's Daniel, are pretty good. Yeah, I've checked out some of their streams before, and yeah, they do good stuff. LR Dice, I just want good Star Wars. I don't care who directs it. 100% LR Dice. 100%. Mark the Infinitely Tired. $5 super chat. This video is heartbreaking. I really thought Filoni was on our side. I think Dave will take Kathy's position and Star Wars is done. Possibly. I don't think Filoni is anywhere near ready to be the head of a studio. I just don't think he would be a good pick for that at all. I don't think he's going to end up in that seat. I don't think so at all. I think he'll stay being a creative. Mega says at this point, with the toxicity of The Last Jedi, I'd rather not see Ron Johnson involved, but if he is, no control over story. 100%, absolutely. Don't want him writing anything for Star Wars, ever. Sketch Therapy, I'm absolutely against Ron Johnson making anything in this plane of existence. I hope he's constipated. He shouldn't make a show. I'm guessing that's what you meant. No one but internet think he's coming back. He broke the toy license. Yeah, again, I don't think he needs to come back to Star Wars. I don't think Lucasfilm should even let him on the sets. He could jinx the whole thing just being there. RJ, the problem with the sequel trilogy was the lack of a story arc that spanned all three films. It was a chaotic mess. Well said. And I could not agree more, for sure. Rob D, could he redeem himself if the script is handed to him by Favreau? And that's the thing. I don't have any issue with his directing skills. He's a good director. I mean, he is. You got to give credit where credit's due. He is a good director. But he's just not a good writer for Star Wars, and that, I mean, you can see that just from watching The Last Jedi. I don't think if he directed it, he would be redeemed. I don't think anything he could do would redeem him after he gave us The Last Jedi. Not in my opinion. Not unless they completely scrapped that from canon and he redid it, and they redid the entire sequel trilogy, which is never going to happen. I mean, that's the only way he could redeem himself, and then turn Luke into, a badass instead of the, character, the old grumpy man on the island that we ended up getting. Sketch therapy. Everyone who thinks there's a shred of truth to this Ryan coming back story is being very gullible and acting as his trading arm of marketing by posting his name everywhere. No episodes, no nothing. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know how much truth there is to this. Apparently, according to him, he's talked to them and said he would love to do it. But again, I don't think he's coming back at all. I don't think he's coming back to do anything with Star Wars, anything with The Mandalorian. But if it did happen, I wouldn't be completely against him directing an episode, as long as he's not writing anything. Spike and Madness, Ron Johnson should be unloading cargo ships out of Juneau, Alaska. Yes, I agree 100%. Sketch therapy. I love Breaking Bad. I didn't like that episode at all. It stands out because it doesn't belong. That wasn't Walter White. It was a comedy. Yeah, it definitely stood out from all the other episodes for sure. You are definitely right there for sure. Mega says the sequel trilogy was overall trash. Force Awakens was just okay, and Death to Star woke the High repugnant. Yes, I have zero interest in anything High Republic or any of that other woke soy boy crap that they're gonna put out there. I literally have no interest in any of it. Lucasfilm probably is announcing this just to troll the fandom. That's a very good possibility. Very, very good possibility. LR Dice with the $2 super chat. I want coffee. Yeah, it's late. It's 3 in the morning where I'm at. I don't know what time it is where you guys are. It's 3 a.m. here, but I'm up late all the time. So this is normal for me because I work late. Sketch therapy. Remember what I said to you last time. Let's wait this out. KK will leave at end of contract, and all these projects will be as canceled as Clone Wars was mid-season when KK took charge. I hope so. And me and Coach kind of talked about this in another video. Her being gone, we don't know who's going to take her place, and they could end up being worse than her. I hope not. I hope they get somebody in there that puts the right people in place for Star Wars, not for any kind of woke social justice agenda. Because we definitely don't need any more of that, for sure. Filoni is a bad pick for head of studio. 100% agree. He is not qualified to be a studio head. And I don't think he's going to get that position. I don't think he'll be there. Clifton 3D, yeah, I mean, Johnson directing is not that big of an issue. How much of a change can he make without Favreau saying, no, 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 no? Yes, yeah. And that's sort of like what I was saying earlier. I wouldn't take too much of an issue if he directed an episode. Not having anything to do with the storytelling aspect of it. Crazy Mad LO, if they do give him an episode, John ought to make him do the Luke hero episode. How awesome would that be if he was, forced to make Luke out to be the person that we all wanted him to be and expected him to be, when he turned him into somebody completely different. That'd kind of be a shot at him. I'd like to see that. Actually, I really don't want to see Rian Johnson have anything to do with Star Wars, but it would be funny. Zombie, was Kathleen Kennedy ready to lead Star Wars, though? Obviously not. I would say obviously not. Not with the way things have gone. I mean, we got Rogue One, which I think is the best thing that we've gotten from them, movie-wise. And then the Mandalorian's been decent for me. It hasn't been without its flaws for sure, but it's been decent. And that last part of the episode with Luke's return was great. Saucy, hey, how's it going, Saucy? Late night stream. I was just gonna do a video on this, and I was like, I'll go live. I'll go live and do it. And then when I get done with the episode, people can just watch it later. Ray J says the sequel trilogy made the Ewoks look good. 100%. But I actually like the Ewoks. So they were good to me, even without the sequel trilogy. But I grew up, I was born in 79, so I was 4 years old when Return of the Jedi came out. So, I grew up loving the Ewoks as a kid. So, I mean, it's sort of like, kids that grew up with the prequels. They loved, there's so many kids that loved Jar Jar, back then. And that's who George said the movie or that character was for. It was for kids. But even though Jar Jar was, God, terrible. As adults watching it, but I don't know. Even if I was a kid and grew up liking Jar Jar, going back and watching it as an adult, I'd probably be like, it's kind of cringe. But when I go back and watch Jedi as an adult, I don't really look at the Ewoks as cringe. So I don't know. I definitely think that there's a difference. Sketch therapy, constipated is when you can't poop. I meant to say he shouldn't even poop equals make chat. It was a joke, but not my best. It's all good, man. It is all good. Let's see here. Mega, talk to the guy from the vid Nick played. He has coffee on lock. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Good morning. Good morning. It is morning for a lot of you. It's late night for me. Captain Edward, Ron isn't awful. Just keep him away from Star Wars. I'm guessing is what you meant to say. But yeah, I haven't had any issues with any of his movies that he did in the past. And even when The Last Jedi was being made, we're getting, snippets and, kind of scissor reel stuff and behind the scenes stuff. And I kind of was looking into who Ron Johnson was. I was actually getting pumped for the movie. I went into that movie super excited. Me and Coach both did. And of course, we know how all that went. Zombie says, the difference between Kathleen Kennedy, who never ran a studio before, and Dave Filoni, who never ran a studio before, is the latter has passion about the storytelling. Yeah, 100%. But sort of like what Justin was saying in that video that we played, Filoni pushed a lot of that feminist agenda crap, and was kind of on board with a lot of that. So the thing is, if he did get put into place, is Kathleen Kennedy is now, we'd probably just be getting more of the same crap. He'd probably be like, oh yeah, we gotta, check all these boxes for diversity and social justice and make sure all these different agenda ideas are thrown in there, and virtue signaling, and so I don't think there would be much change if Dave Filoni was put in her position. Sketch therapy. I don't care if Jesus Christ gave him the script. Every Ron Johnson movie sucks. The plots suck. Looper made no sense. He got that success from Bruce Willis, not talent. This myth that Ron has talent is crazy. Uh, I definitely don't. I wouldn't say I give him, you know, credit of talent. But I mean, for me personally, I mean, nothing has stood out as far as his ability to be a director that just makes me sit there and be like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. He just completely sucks. But don't get me wrong, I don't like Ron Johnson at all. Captain Edward says, don't let Ron write it. Yeah, and that's what I was saying just a little bit ago, for sure. Don't let him write it at all. Ron Johnson episode of Mandalorian titled Sabers Out. Remember when the girlfriend overdoses? That's my favorite episode. That one stayed in my mind. Yes, and Walt was right over her while she was dying and freaking just let her die and like left. And then he ended up telling Jesse about it later. Man, that show was so freaking crazy. Crazy good. Crazy good. I absolutely love Breaking Bad. And the thing is, people at my work at the time were trying to get me to watch, or it was on the second half of season 5 that had come out, and they were all talking about it. And they were like, you gotta watch, you've never seen this show? And I was like, no. Like, I knew what it was about, but I literally had no interest in watching it. And they're like, oh my god, dude, you've got to watch Breaking Bad. So I was like, all right. So me and the girl I was dating at the time started watching it, and after the very first episode, I was just like, whoa, like, all right, well, let's watch this next episode, see what happens. And it snowballed, and we binge watched the whole thing. And of course, I watched Better Call Saul. Can't wait for the new season of that. I actually did watch Nobody. With the actor, I can't remember his name, who plays Saul Goodman. I actually watched it the other night, and it was actually pretty good. I actually liked it. So if you guys haven't seen Nobody, definitely check it out. Ron Johnson did not do what he did alone. KK and Filoni and Disney all had a part. The rot in Star Wars came within Lucasfilm's Disney black hole. Tron, John Carter, enough said of Disney sci-fi. Yeah, you're not wrong there. And the thing is, I don't know. From my understanding, Ron Johnson wrote the whole thing. I don't know if he was given any parameters or outlines of, make sure you have this in it or that in it. KK just said he went up into the mountains during a snowstorm and was snowed in up there, wrote the whole thing, came back excited and ready to get to work. So I don't know how much of his original writing of the movie was actually in the movie, how much of it was changed, and other stuff put in there by KK and Disney. I'm not sure the details on all that, but from my understanding, he wrote the whole thing from start to finish. Sketch therapy, 4 a.m. there. So all right, so I'm guessing you're East Coast time. Oh, okay. You're Puerto Rico. Okay, so yeah. So you are on East Coast time. 10 a.m. Wow. So you're over in Europe, I'm guessing, Clifton. LR Dice, I'm in Texas. Yeah, so you're on the same same time as I am, LR Dice. A little after 3 a.m. The sun never sets. What are you in Alaska? My brother's actually up in Alaska. 3 a.m. for Ray J. Rex 907 there. Early morning. Okay, so Clifton, you're actually working. I shouldn't be watching and responding. Keeping you from doing your work, man. They'll let Favreau take over. I hope so. I hope so. I think Jon Favreau is the best hope that we have for Star Wars right now. My hope's in him, not Filoni. I'm fine with Filoni working with Favreau because I think Favreau's going to kind of keep Filoni in check somewhat. But yeah, all my money's on Favreau. This isn't a case of better the devil you know, though. Not sure what you are referring to there, Zombie. This isn't a case of better the devil you know, though. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Let me know. Joker's Wall, Deborah Chow, if it has to be a woman. Yes, I really liked the episode or episodes. I can't remember. Did she do one or two? I don't know. But I really liked the episode or episodes that she did in season 1. I don't think she did anything in season 2. I could be mistaken, but I don't think she did. I think she just was involved in season 1. But I actually liked the stuff that she did, and she's doing Obi-Wan. So we'll be getting that. That's filming now, I think, or they're about to start filming. So we'll see how she does with that. He's a creative, yes. Filoni is a creative. If Disney and Lucasfilm got smart and want more money, they will replace KK with someone that doesn't try to push agendas and just lets good Star Wars stories be told. I agree, but also, how much is that being pushed by Disney execs? We really don't know for sure. Me and Coach has said this before. She could be gone and nothing could change. And whether she's there or not there, what we're wanting and what we're fighting for is good Star Wars. Agenda-free, good quality Star Wars, good writing, good storytelling, good characters. That's what we want. We don't really care who's directing, who's writing, who's in charge. If those people got to be out of there for those things to happen, then yeah, we're all for getting them out of there. But we just want good Star Wars content, And, Disney doesn't have a good track record so far on giving us that. They're always taking, 1 or 2 steps forward and then 3 or 4 steps backwards. I like John Carter, but it was marketed terribly. I still have not even seen John Carter. It didn't get good reviews, so I never watched it. KK was ready to lead Star Wars into the ground. Yeah, that's pretty much what she did, for sure. Let's see, this thing just jumped on me. Crazy Mad, tell us rock star stories. I really don't want to. I hate talking about that stuff just because it's like, oh, you're talking about, oh, this person, or you hung out with that person, or I don't like being that guy. Kind of name dropping and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I've hung out and partied with a lot of cool people, um, people that you guys definitely know for sure. I've been all over the country. I've done a lot of. If you guys ever saw that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg and oh god, what's her name? I'm drawing a blank. I draw blanks a lot because of that life I lived for such a long time. um, God, what's her name from Friends? Uh, Help me out, chat. What's her name from was hooked up with Brad Pitt for a while. She was in that movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg, played his girlfriend. Yeah, Jennifer Aniston. Yes. Thank you, Spike and Madness. um, if you've ever watched that movie, life out on the road like that with bands and being on tour buses and backstage at shows and all that sort of stuff, it is not too far off from what you see in that movie. And I still have friends that are in very well known bands. So when they come into town, we normally link up, and I'll go hang out with them backstage or whatever. I just don't do that stuff, on like a regular basis. I'm not out traveling and touring or doing music or sitting in with bands or playing. I hardly play guitar anymore. It's just so one of the guys I was on tour with, who's a Grammy award winning artist, he had a he hadn't won a Grammy at the time when I went out on the road with him, but he was signed with Universal Records, and they ended up shelving his album. And basically, I was really wanting to do the whole music thing and all that, and it just got to a point to where I didn't want to be, the age I am now, playing college bars and clubs and doing all that sort of stuff. So I kind of went back to my career and doing IT stuff, which is what I got my degree in and where all my experience was, doing IT stuff. So that's pretty much what I went back to. And I still hung out and went out with people and met up with other bands and stuff like that. It wasn't, it wasn't as often for me at that point in time. Josh Main 319 here in Texas. Yep, I'm same time as you. Dances with Dogs. Hey, I'm in Hawaii. Man, I wish I could be in Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. I would love to go, but I've never ever been. One day. Appreciating Star Wars. I love The Last Jedi, so I'll be excited if Ryan gets to direct a Mando episode. Yeah, and I think a lot of people that like that movie will really like the fact that he's directing. And again, I wouldn't really be 100% against it as long as he wasn't involved with any of the writing, like I've said. Filoni is just a producer. Yeah, for the most part. He definitely knows a lot about Star Wars and canon and that sort of stuff. He worked under George for such a long time. And I really hope that they kind of bring, if they're moving in the direction of the Thrawn trilogy, or even telling George's original treatment for the sequels, just something that's not just utter garbage like the sequel trilogy was for me. I know appreciating Star Wars. I know you love The Last Jedi. I wasn't a fan, man. I tried liking that movie. I really did. I just did not. But I'm glad you like it. I am. I wish I did. Red haired Shanks. I know I'm being a George Lucas purist, but the reason Disney Star Wars doesn't feel like Star Wars is a Lucas disconnect from the projects. The Clone Wars was some good fan flick. Ahsoka should have died. Yeah, and according to George, she did die. You know, Filoni brought her back once Disney took over. I don't think he brought her back. Well, George Lucas still had control over Star Wars. But yeah, I wish George was still involved. I mean, the thing is, you got the creator of Star Wars who's still alive. And I mean, you just kind of kick him to the curb. You know, I mean, was Gene Roddenberry kicked to the curb? You know, on Star Trek stuff, which after Gene Roddenberry died, you know, I think we got some of the best Star Trek ever in Deep Space Nine. And I don't think Gene Roddenberry was too much of a fan. I think that idea got pitched to him before, and he wasn't a fan of keeping things centralized on like a space station, you know. But I love Deep Space Nine. Absolutely love it. Josh Marion, EBN gives. Yes. We have been known to give. No giveaway tonight. I don't have anything to give away. I am going to get a different Ledger Nano to hold my cryptocurrencies on. But I doubt anybody on this channel would be interested in getting a cryptocurrency ledger. And actually, I am going to use that one because I'm going to keep my probably my Ethereum and Bitcoin on it, and get another one to hold all my other cryptos on. Sketch therapy, better the devil you know, sounds like Stockholm syndrome or battered wife syndrome. How about no devils? How about that? Yeah, no devils. I don't know. I'm lost here. Spike and Madness, I think she did at least one episode in season 2. Let me look. Because I didn't think that she did. Deborah Chow, Mandalorian, directing credits. Okay, so yeah, she only did one episode. She did episode 3 titled The Sin in The Mandalorian. And that was it. Just one episode. She didn't do anything for season 2. And now that I think about it, I think I knew that because I think they were wanting her to come back and do an episode, but she was tied down doing all the Obi-Wan stuff. Red-haired Shanks, Dave Filoni ruins canon left and right. He can't write for shit. He just hangs on a character he didn't even create and didn't even kill that character when told by George. Yeah. I mean, I can't really argue that. I mean, I really can't. KK's contract is ending. Yes, it is. This year. But, from the investors call meeting, Chapek was saying, we're excited to have her for years to come, but again, what's he supposed to say? What's he supposed to say? Oh yeah, that crazy Bia is out as soon as this contract's up. Let's see here. Oh, there we are. Chat jumped on me. Deborah did the episode The Sin in season 1. Yep. The execs want money and KK doesn't make it. She costs it. Yeah. Do not disagree with you. Execute Directive 4. Absolutely. Zombie. Better the devil know, as in keeping Kathleen Kennedy over another head. You don't know whether he or she will have the same philosophies. Okay, yes. Yeah. Complete agreement with you there, for sure. Have you seen Ozark? Yes. So I binge watched Ozark. What was it? 3 seasons, I think. I can't remember. I finished whatever the last season was that came out. I finished in December, I think it was when it was. I think it was December. I finished it. But yeah, that show's freaking crazy. I like it. It reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad. And this next season is going to be the last season of that show. They actually canceled it, which I kind of hated to see the show get canceled. But the ending of that last episode of the last season was insane. I'm definitely looking forward to the next season of Ozark, for sure. Sleep beckons. Later, all stay frosty. Good night, Mega. I'm not trying to advertise, but Not My Star Wars is a channel you should all check for news and prediction. That dude always hits the mark. Yeah, we've had Not My Star Wars on here before, and we're subbed to his channel. Yeah, we check out the stuff he's got. Yep, for sure. The quote is, better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. Okay, all right, yeah. I have heard that term before. Yes. Let's see. I hung out with White Zombie back in the day. I bet that was pretty freaking cool. Never hung out with those guys. But I did hang out and know people that knew them. I never hung out with them. It's okay. Never use names. Man, I don't even know if I could even use the stories. Even leaving the names out. Crazy times, man. Crazy times. Ditto, MAGA, sort of in the same boat. I guess you're talking about sleepy sleep. Make up names. Make up names. Let me think of something where I could make up a name. Or how I could actually tell this on our family-friendly channel. All the good stories I can't really tell on here. Even if I made up names. I will tell you one story. I won't say everything about what happened, but there was so the one friend of mine who played guitar with 9 Inch Nails. He was actually in town. He lived out in L.A. and he was actually in Huntsville, Alabama, which is where I was living at the time. When I was there. He came out and he knew some of the WWE folks He's partied at the Playboy Mansion with Chris Jericho and all those guys before. And Chris Jericho has a band. And so, anyways, they had a Monday Night Raw there in Huntsville that night. Well, a bunch of them, we ended up going to Hooters and meeting a bunch of them there after the show. And it was Chris Jericho, Batista, Randy Orton, Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, gosh, so many other people. Batista was actually shorter than I thought he would be. Randy Orton was very tall. So anyways, they wanted to go to kind of a discreet location where there wouldn't be a lot of people at. And I was like, dude, I got the perfect place, man. There's this little karaoke bar, like right down the road. So we told them where it was at. And so my buddy B-Ron, he was kind of let him know what the deal was, and they're like, all right, yeah, well, let's meet down there. So we left there. We didn't tell anybody where we were going. It was just us, and it was a real small hole in the wall type place. Well, my college instructor, one of my college instructors, and his wife were actually in town, and we stopped at a gas station on the way there and ran into them. And I was like, dude, I said, we're getting ready to go freaking party with all these WWE wrestler folks down at this karaoke bar. That's like, it was a Monday night, and this place is like always small, dead, not super packed. I was like, if you want to come down and party down there with us tonight, and it stayed open late. So he was like, yeah, totally, like, count us in. So we went down there, and there was literally like a handful of people there, and it was us and all these WWE wrestler guys, and me and Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair sat at the bar drinking 7 and 7s, talking politics. He bought me a couple drinks. We talked politics a lot of the time. Talked about the old WCW days, that sort of stuff. Coach and B-Ron, he was talking to him about getting his band, some of his band's music played for some of the intros on some of the shows and that sort of stuff. Chris Jericho was super cool. He was actually running around the bar with my hat on, singing karaoke. Batista and Randy Orton were pretty cool. There were several other ones there that we hung out with. But I mean, we were up there for like 4 hours, freaking just getting smashed, And the cops actually finally showed up because, even though it wasn't, like a packed house, like apparently I guess they were getting noise complaints from the apartment complex back behind there or something. Because I guess word started getting around that they were up there. So towards the end of the night, more people started showing up, and the cops actually came in there and ended up shutting the whole thing down. And we all left, but there was some other stuff that happened that night that I'll leave out of the story. Yeah, there's a cool story. It was fun. And they were all real cool guys. None of them were like dickheads or anything. Chris Jericho was really funny. Him and Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair were probably my three favorite guys that I hung out and talked to all night. I mean, I hung out and talked to pretty much all of them at some point in time throughout the night. But those three were by far the coolest that I liked the most. Let's see here. Bob Seger was right. I'd hang out with you, band or no band. LOL. I'm now haggling with you. You're cool. Thanks, Sketch Therapy. I try, man. I try. I was a lot more fun back in the day, for sure. I've kind of turned into a homebody for the most part. But now, when I was up in Chicago 2 years ago for the Fandom Menace meetup with Jeremy and EVS and Jeff Hicks from World Class and all those guys. Josiah Rises was up there, and Odin. Gary was supposed to be there, but he didn't make it. Man, we freaking got lit that night. I was definitely in my old rare form that night. But yeah, we'll do a meetup. I know EVS is talking about doing a big huge meetup in Florida, possibly towards the end of this year, maybe. And then Jeff over on ETEP stream tonight, Jeff from World Class was talking about doing something too. So Star Wars Celebration is in Anaheim, out in LA next year. So more than likely, we're going to be going out there. I'm definitely going to go out there. Whether or not Coach goes, man, I can't even hardly get him to come to my house in Birmingham. You know, and it's funny because his tax lady told his wife, like, you know, he needs to go on trips because they're tax write-offs, you know. So, and I mean, he could take the whole family, and it would be a tax write-off, you know, for the channel and stuff. But yeah, we'll definitely do a meetup at some point in time. We were gonna do the ICCC convention in Nashville, which was this last weekend, but they had a mask mandate there, and I'm an anti-masker. I'll just go on and tell you, I haven't worn a mask. I ain't gonna wear a mask. If I thought that they actually did something, in the pee pants comparison is just bad. But yeah, if there wasn't a mask mandate, we probably would have went. But I was like, I'm not wearing no mask. Hey, if you can't rock star it, Dolomite it. Yes. LOL, zombie ombre. Yeah, either way, KK better keep her cloven hoofs away from Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody wants. Filoni does know and care about the Star Wars universe. He comes from the same viewpoint as George. At least that's how he comes across to me. Yeah, Simon, I don't know if you were here when we were watching the video from Justin's Lost. The link for that video is in the description. And he actually made a lot of key points kind of against Filoni that are actual documented fact on the stuff, and he pulls it up and stuff. Filoni by himself, I don't think would be good, but him and Favreau together, I think, is a good combination. And that's just my opinion. Crazy man, I was kidding with you. I saw you on Purple Valkyrie yesterday. I wanted to give you some. I'm guessing you're meaning shit. You guys are my top 3 YouTube channels. Well, thanks, Crazy Mad. Thank you for that. Yeah, we just hit our 2-year anniversary. And it's freaking 3:30 in the morning. So no songs, none of that. I mean, I'm still, for the most part, keeping things clean. But yeah, there shouldn't be any kids off watching this time of night. And it's just me by myself, so. Gary, hello chatters. Hail, Gary, how's it going, man? I despise Ron Johnson, so do I. I'm right there with you. IT here too, database class in 1 hour. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't do database stuff. I do all Windows administration stuff, Active Directory, SCCM, that kind of stuff. A little bit of Unix and Linux stuff, but not a whole lot. But yeah. Joker's Wild. Colin Trevorrow deserves a slot directing on Mando more than Johnson after how they shafted him. 100% Joker's Wild. That is a very good point that you bring up there, and I could not agree more, for sure. 100%. 100%. They should give him a directing seat before Ron Johnson, for sure. Thundercats Ho, how's it going, man? Ron Johnson is going to make Baby Yoda a depressed alcoholic on an island. He probably would. I wouldn't put it past him for sure. Filoni is literal Star Wars encyclopedia. Yeah, he knows a lot. I mean, there's no denying that. Grogu is going to end up addicted to death sticks. Yeah. There was no plan at all. Nope, there wasn't, and that's been well documented. Ron Johnson even said so himself. Patrick, hey fellow EBNers, I'm late as usual. Situation normal, regardless of The Last Jedi. Ron Johnson is a really good director. I'd like to see what he can bring to Mando. Yeah, and we were talking about this earlier, Patrick. There's not a whole lot from his directing ability that I can really complain a whole lot about. I've never took an issue with him as a director. It's really just him as a writer and as a director for The Last Jedi. If he would have directed The Last Jedi and it would have been George's story or Favreau and Filoni's story or somebody else's story, maybe it wouldn't have been as bad as it was. The entire Josh Manning, the entire sequel trilogy is pure garbage. Ron Johnson doesn't deserve to even look at a script of The Mandalorian. Man, can't argue with you there. Cannot. I don't hate Ron. I hate who hired him. Yeah. They take blame as well. They definitely have their portion of blame to. Let's see. Duel of the Fates had so much potential. Yes. DS9 ruled, and I'm still. Coach is gonna watch it one day. Coach has never seen DS9. I've said it multiple times on here, and it's my favorite by far. I love the whole Dominion War story arc. I love that whole series. I really hate. So, for those of you that don't know, and I'm guessing probably most of you do know, when they did DS9 and when they're doing the editing, they put it all on VHS tapes, so they can't go back and they don't have like the original film and stuff for it, so they can't go back and make it, high def, or Ultra HD or any of that. They'd have to I don't know. I can't remember exactly what it was they did with some of the next generation stuff, but they had to completely go back and redo like a whole crap ton of stuff to get a HD copy of some of the next generation stuff. So I don't know if we'll ever get Deep Space Nine in HD ever, which really sucks. Maybe one day when the technology is better. I know there's some fans out there that are doing some stuff with it, and it looks really good. I can't remember the fan site, but yeah, I love DS9. What's going on, Robert Pearson? Let's see. The Next Generation got better after Gene passed. Yeah, can't argue with you there. It definitely did. And that was kind of. So I remember when Disney took over and bought Star Wars, I was like, okay, they're doing all the Marvel stuff, which is just killing it right now. Man, I was pumped for it because I wasn't a big fan of the prequel trilogy. I mean, I didn't completely hate it. There was definitely a lot of it I did like, but I was pumped for them to be in charge. Like I thought, like it was just gonna be awesome, whatever it was that they were gonna do. And of course, we know how all that panned out. That's the best digital crypto wallet. Yes. My dad has several of these Ledger Nano S's, and he actually gave me this one. But the thing is, it's only a. Where's the. I can't remember what the space is. I think it's like 150 meg or something. Like there's like hardly any space on it. So like when I install like the app on there for the wallets, it's like I can fit like 2 on there and that's it. Here, hang on one sec, guys. Okay. Sorry, Nick. The Nightbot popped up in chat about the giveaways. Oh yeah. I saw that and I was like, "What is this Nightbot thing doing?" I guess that was from when Coach and them were streaming the other night. And I don't even think Coach did the giveaway because he had to bounce. I don't even know if anything happened with that. I don't know. I'll have to ask him tomorrow. I played with creating an Ethereum app. Interesting. Yeah, I think crypto's the future, for sure. I think fiat currency is one day going to be a thing of the past, and digital currency is going to be where it's at. You know, I mean, the dollar keeps losing money every single year. You know, and more people are getting into crypto. Like so many people are like, oh man, like EVS. EVS was saying, man, I missed the crypto train. No, bro, no, you didn't. It's still early in the crypto game. So I put $80 in last November, and I'm up to. The market's really down right now. I'm up to a little over $7,000 in there right now. So yeah, I watch a lot of the videos and stuff. I watch them in my own time. Are crypto videos. BitBoy Crypto, he's the largest crypto channel on YouTube. If you guys are into crypto or want to learn more about crypto, catch me outside. How about that? That girl, man, that girl. Catch me outside. How about that? Man, she's straight thugging it. Let's see here. Sci-Fi Master, $2 super chat. Put a mask on and try to blow out a match or a Bic lighter. Yeah, I've never tried that. But I haven't worn a mask either. Like I put one on when I went to work. I guess I can't say I've never worn one. But I put one on when I went into work, and I felt like I was gonna suffocate. It's like I ain't doing this, man. So yeah, I just work from home. Let's see here. The chat jumped on me, so I'm gonna just. I probably missed a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to start back down here at the bottom. Mama Bear's out. Night Cubs. See you, Debbie. Glad you could jump in here. Early indeed. Everyone's saying good night. I went in at 30, sold at 60, and it dropped to 55. I did good. Yeah. I right before the market dropped, I was taking profits out and putting it in DAI, which is a stable coin. It's always worth $1, because I knew there was a drop coming, and it dropped hard. And as soon as it dropped hard, I was watching it. I dumped everything I had in there into Cardano and Mana to Decentraland. So Decentraland is it's like Minecraft. It's a game, but you have digital, like real estate and property and NFTs, and like that they do sales of art and stuff on there. You can buy land and build. It's like Minecraft, like on steroids. But yeah, it's probably gonna be big one day. Let's see here. Hail the Richard, how's it going, brother? I actually am supporting masks for a bit more, hopefully. Yeah, and on the mask thing, I'm not against people wearing them. I think everybody is responsible for themselves, and if it makes you feel safer and stuff, I'm definitely not against people wearing them. I just hate being forced to wear one. So like if I go somewhere and they're like, "Oh, you gotta have a mask here," peace out. We'll see you later. Yeah, Captain, I'll wear a mask if you like. Yeah. I got no problem with it. It's just I'm just not gonna do it. Club Star Wars, are you available for a joint live stream on Wednesday at 3 p.m.? We're in England and go live every week at 8 p.m. our time. I'd love to chat with you about Star Wars. So 3 p.m. my time is right when I start work. And 3 p.m. Is also right when Coach is getting off work. And he's like 45 minutes away. His work's like 45 minutes away. So it would be hard for us to both get on there at 3. Maybe during the summer, like if I'm off on a day or something, like for a holiday or something, and Coach doesn't have school, we could do something like that. Which we get a lot of requests for us to jump on shows, and it's so hard for me and Coach to both get in there. So definitely keep asking. But we definitely don't want people to think we're just kind of shunning you or anything, because that's definitely not the case. This is literally like a part-time thing for us. We got so much other stuff going on outside of YouTube. If we were full-time YouTubers, I mean, we would be all over the place, and we'd probably be streaming a whole lot more than just Saturday nights. Hell, Nick, since the chat jumped. Oh, hell, how's it going, Darius? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I hate when the chat jumps, because then I'm sitting there scrolling through it for like, seems like forever, trying to find where I was at. Dwight, driving to Houston. So speaking of Houston, I'm actually going to be going to, I think I'm going to be going to Retropalooza in Houston, July 24th and 25th, I believe, are the dates. I think those are the dates. So Retropalooza is a retro gaming, it's a retro gaming convention put on by Jay from the Game Chasers. It's another YouTube channel. If you've ever seen American Pickers on the History Channel, their show, they produce it just like a TV show from like American Pickers. They basically go out and hunt for old retro games. There's like, I don't know, I think there's like six or seven seasons of Game Chasers. But they're actually going to have a part in our upcoming Lucasfilm gaming documentary. We're going to get up with them. But Jay from the Game Chasers actually puts on Retropalooza in Houston. Well, they're doing one in Houston then, and they got one in Dallas, Fort Worth area, in October, I think. But they have tons of other YouTubers there, old retro games, toys, comics, all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to try to get Coach to go there too, because I actually got him watching the Game Chasers. But those guys are funny. I freaking love that show. If you guys are into old retro games, Atari, NES, Super Nintendo, all that, it's a great show. I love it. I'm actually going back through. I just finished season 2 of the Game Chasers, going back through and rewatching episodes. Luke, help me take my mask off. Yeah. Yeah, Darth Vader couldn't even breathe in that thing. The Richard, I understand you. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, I got no ill will towards anybody that wears masks, man. Not against masks. I'm just against me doing wearing a mask. Podcasts. Can't sleep. LOL. How are you? Let's see here. Yeah, I can't ever sleep at night either. I have lung issues, so I'm doing it regardless for the time. Yeah, and a lot of people who have health conditions like that and stuff. I get that 100%. Not home from work at that time either. Hey Nick, that shuttlecraft in your background looks a bit like K9 from Doctor Who. I've not ever watched Doctor Who, and I don't think Coach has either. You would think that we probably have, but I've not ever actually watched it. I know what it is. I've seen clips and stuff of it, but I've never actually watched the show. Everything that is Star Wars is dead to me. Everyone should find a new hobby such as BMX. I used to freaking do all kinds of stuff on bikes back in the day. Bikes and skateboards. I mean, I skated half pipes. I mean, on bikes, I mean, there would be dirt courses with like freaking ramps that were pretty high for me as a kid. But man, I would freaking ride my bike or skateboard all over the place back in the day. I was very, very skinny kid. Let's see here. Josh, man, we were threatened with losing our jobs if we don't wear one, so I'm completely anti-mask now. If anyone tells me to put one on, I'm like, I'm out. Yeah, and yeah, my work was doing the same thing, and that's why I work from home. But none of the places around here force you to wear it where I live. There's been one clothing store and one decorative store I think I've gone into since this thing started a year ago that's told me that I had to have a mask on. The state mandate for masks just ended here in Alabama. And I was in this dirt cheap store, and there was one lady that was like, "Oh, sir, did you got a mask?" I was like, "No." I was like, Didn't that end? Did that mask mandate end?" She was like, "No, not in Birmingham." I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't have one." And she was like, "Oh, okay." But she didn't tell me to leave. I went on about my business, shopping around, got some good deals on some stuff. Sporking News Podcast, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you for that, Sporking News Podcast. Thank you, brother. Thank you. The Richard watched your appearance on Purple Valkyrie show. It made my day. I was bummed I didn't get the notification. Yeah, it was a lot of fun being on there with Purple. And she's so nice and so sweet, and me and Coach was honored to go on her channel and do that with her. Which, speaking of the Richard, I actually had a one-on-one meeting with Rob, R&B, 2-3 weeks ago maybe, and he's gonna be doing a couple really big things with us if they pan out here in the future. So y'all stay tuned. We love Robert Meyer Burnett, and Richard, for those of you guys don't know, does his Facebook page and mods over on R&B's channel. I have costumed. I know how to wear a mask. Yeah. Even when I was a kid, I hated. If you guys remember, I remember I went as Fred Flintstone one year, and you had the mask that you had to put on. You know, that had the little strings that went around your ear, and there's the two little holes that was cut out under the little nose and little slit where the mouth was. Man, I couldn't even breathe in that thing back when I was a kid. I remember taking that thing off every single time we got done at a door. Like, I'd literally put it on, be like, trick or treat, get my candy, turn around, walk off, and take that mask off. Like, I don't know. Having something restrictive on my face, I just always feel like I'm like suffocating. I'm claustrophobic though too, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not. Captain Edwards, I miss Star Wars. Yeah, I do too. But man, I always put in the original trilogy every once in a while, which are when we had our members watch party. I'll watch the Addy-Wan Empire Revisited, which is a fan edit special edition with tons of like new scenes, new special effects. And these are really cool. Speaking of member watch party, we are having one this upcoming Sunday, and I think we're gonna watch The Last Starfighter. I don't know. I'm gonna put a poll. I'm gonna probably put a poll up maybe tomorrow. But we did a thing on The Last Starfighter video, and there's a lot of people that hadn't seen it, or a lot of people that hadn't seen it in a really long time. So I think we might do it on The Last Starfighter. Let's see here. Go to the BMX show down somewhere in Texas. I know my nephew and my brother-in-law. I know he's taken my nephew to some of that stuff down there, and I know they've had some in Houston, like motocross racing, and I think when they have that, they do stuff with BMX and stuff there also. If I'm in the area, Nick, I'll try and catch you. Yeah. Anytime you're in the Birmingham area, yeah, let me know. About 90% of the time my mask is used as a hat. Yeah. Let's see here. LR Dice, $2 super chat. Good night, guys. Off to bed. Good night, LR Dice. Thanks for stopping in, man. Yeah, I'm going to be wrapping up here shortly and hitting the sack myself. Let's see here. The Never Dead Game Chasers is great. Yes. I was actually, you know what? I'm going to do something funny here. Yeah. So this is Jay from the Game Chasers. He's actually live streaming right now. We're gonna stream snipe him. So he'll like literally play music and play old school games and just talk to people in chat. But yeah, I was actually watching this stream of his before I went on the stream.
Pussy, fuck you.
Yeah, if Coach was here, he'd be doing the No song to Jay. But yeah, the Game Chasers are freaking hilarious. I'll stop. I'll stop stream sniping them. But yeah, if you guys have not checked out the Game Chasers, definitely go check them out. If you're into old retro stuff, sketch therapy. I remember American Pickers. It was fun. Yeah, I watched American Pickers all the time. Sci-fi. Why is Nick so erotic? Hardly. Richard, I want to know more about the Game Chasers stuff at Echo Base. Please let me know. So here, Richard, I'll actually just pull up. I'll just show you guys. They're actually in the process of doing a movie. But I'll just do a video. I'll just show you guys just a real clip. And they also do another show on their channel called The Toy Chasers, where they hunt down old toys and stuff. But here, let me share this. I'll just kind of show you guys a little bit about what the Game Chasers is. So this is their channel. It's complete season 1. Let me find an episode from. All right, that's with commentary. I don't want that. Of course, there'll be a stupid ad. Can you guys hear that?
On today's episode of the Game Chasers. Hey, did we just miss this? Oh, it was creepy. Waking up and having Billy Melmore stand over me was not the first time. Something that hasn't happened in a while. Poor games. You never seriously you want reality. You look so stupid.
So that's Melvor. He actually watches our channel.
It's at the Buck Creek abode right now. I just picked up Melbourne. Now we're standing in Jay's apartment. All these years of this tragedy. But I'm this always makes us late. And we don't get the good deals and stuff. Not only am I Billy was at my place at like 6:20 this morning. All the trash talk over the years of me being the lazy one, me being the one who was sleepy, and making them miss stuff like that auction, which is bullcrap. That was not my fault. It's Jay this time. Jay. No.
They fight all the time.
It's still the same now. It was creepy. Waking up and having Billy Melmore stand over me was not the first time.
So yeah, they freaking. I got the volume. I got the volume turned up all the way. Like I can't make it any louder.
You know, for the few hours that we had, I guess it was okay. It was worth coming on, actually. Not a horrible day.
But anyways, that's the Game Chasers. I've been watching them for years. Melvor, they're actually a clip of them. They're actually in our documentary, our sequel trilogy documentary. Melvor, who's mainly the camera guy, huge Star Wars fan. They hate the sequel trilogy. So yeah, they're good guys. They're good guys. Really cool show. Like I said, they're in like season 7, I think. We're actually going to try to get them on the show at some point in time, and we are going to have them included in our LucasArts documentary. Club Star Wars, yeah, cool. Can organize something when you're free. We're chatting Steven Constantino next episode. All right, yeah. Come summertime when Coach is off, we'll have a lot more free time for sure. To where we can do stuff like that during the daytime. Every time I watch Game Chasers, I think about the old days of YouTube when Alpha Omega Sin was on here. Yeah, Alpha Omega Sin, he's also a big, huge Final Fantasy VII fan, like me. And he actually came back and did a video when they announced the remake and all that sort of stuff. And I thought he'd do a video after playing the game, but yeah, I actually asked Jay, over under 40% if Alpha Omega Sin will ever come back to YouTube, and he was like, probably under 40%. So, but yeah, I used to watch them. 8-bit Eric Wood, all those guys who have been in Game Chaser episodes. I like all that old retro stuff. I wish I had all the stuff that I had, from back in the day. Original NES, Contra, Mario. I got an NES Mini Classic that's modded that has like freaking like 1,000 NES games on it, but it's just not the same of having the actual cartridge in your hand and putting it in the actual Nintendo. I do got an actual Super Nintendo though that Coach gave me. And last time I was at Retropalooza in Houston, I actually picked up some Super Nintendo games there. And I'll probably pick up some other stuff. Hell, if I can find a good deal on an original NES, I might even get an original NES. I don't know. Maybe a game. I don't know. I'll probably look around. I'll definitely probably end up getting stuff there. But I'm going to try to get Coach to go there because my sister lives in Houston. So we'd actually have a free place to stay. I actually took my nephew last time I went there. So if any of you guys are in the Houston area in July and want to come out, more than likely probably going to be going there for sure. Sci-Fi Master. No. Yeah. I have anger issues. Let's see. Sporking News Podcast. I use mass at work, and the way everyone uses them really don't work. But if it makes people feel better, yeah. Again, I'm all for people wearing them if they feel safer with it, for sure. Longview, Texas, Dodson Action Sports Complex, Morgan Wade versus Corey Burglar, game of bike BMX. Huh? Is that an event that's going on? Coming up? Jelly Baby. The Jester of Sin, Haley being Hail Jester of Sin. May 1st. Not sure what you were referring to, May 1st. I'm not sure what we were talking about. Sporking News Podcast. Have a good morning, all. YouTube Sporking News Podcast. Captain Edward. Happy 420. Oh, yeah, it is 420. Yeah. His chat is way behind. Oh, good God. Yeah, it just jumped on me. Yeah, it was way behind. Good God. All right. The Richard, Critters Are Eating This Up. Voodoo Magic 101. Good to see you. Loved Alpha Sin back in the day. Made great content. Yeah. I watched him pretty regularly. The 8-Bit Guy is a fascinating channel. Yeah, 8-Bit Eric. I got his signature and Billy and Jay's and Woods on Star Wars. C-3PO, R2, and Chewbacca all at the little chess table. I didn't have anything else for them to sign, but I got this framed Star Wars picture, and I was like, "We guys sign the outside of this." It's all I have, for you guys to sign. But yeah, I watch 8-Bit Eric too. I just emulate it. It's free. Yeah. I kind of missed the GameCube. I never had a GameCube. He's in Texas, which gives him added cred. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're all in Texas. All the Game Chasers are in Texas. And a lot of other people who were in the Game Chasers episodes have actually moved there. Wood, who's from Australia, and was living in Canada, he's actually living in Texas now also. I think he got married, so I think he's here for good. I don't think there's any way he's going to be getting deported or anything. Yeah, sir, wouldn't mind playing the old Star Wars games on the GameCube. Yeah, those games were awesome. I didn't have a GameCube, but Coach did, and he definitely had the games, and I definitely played them on there. We actually switched systems, and I took his GameCube for a little while, and he took my PlayStation. Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite. I had 9, and I started it, but at that point in time, I was starting to go out more. I think I had just graduated high school when 9 came out, if I remember right. So I was going out all the time at that point in time, and so I didn't put as much time into games as I did when I was, in school. Jelly Baby is classic Tom Baker's Doctor Who back in the 70s. Oh, yeah. See, I never watched Doctor Who, so that's why it just right over my head there on that. I missed Nintendo 64 and PS2. Coach had the Nintendo 64. I had PS2. The Richard, the crates would rule the galaxy if it were for those dastard intergalactic bounty hunters. Voodoo Magic 101, you see any of the fan films. Okay, let's see here. I have a PhD in voodoo. The GameCube had the game Rogue Squadron, so yeah, I missed that console too. Yeah, and that was one of the games that I actually played on Coach's system. We switched systems. No homo, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, no homo. We switched systems. He took my PlayStation for a little while, and I took his GameCube. Which he finally got to play because he didn't have a PlayStation, but he finally got to play Metal Gear Solid for the first time on there, and he didn't play any of the Final Fantasy games, but he played Metal Gear Solid, I think, on there, and I want to say Resident Evil, or he might have watched me play that. I can't really remember. That was just so long ago. The Richard, we were talking about Critters film series. Yeah, I actually there was one of the newer Critter movies that was on TV not too long ago, and I actually just flipped it on and started watching it, and actually got into it. It was like in the woods and in like a neighborhood, and there was like a forest park ranger office that the critters ended up breaking into and killing a bunch of those people. I'm not sure when it came out, but Captain Commodore 64. So yeah, Captain Edward. That was actually the system I grew up on back in the 80s, like 84, 85, 86 time frame around then. That's what we had. My dad had bought a Commodore 64, and that's what we actually played games on. With the disk drive, and you had to do the commands, the star 8, star. I can't even remember. I actually, you know what? Hang on one sec. All right. So this was a game I played on Commodore 64, and I actually ordered this off eBay. But it was like Gauntlet, but I thought it was better. Demon Stalkers by EA for the Commodore 64. But I actually got this. You can kind of see it's pretty much just like Gauntlet. There was exits, and you got different items and stuff that boosted your character. And I played the crap out of this game. There's the original Commodore 64 disc. I'm curious if this thing would still play. Like if I actually had a Commodore 64, I wonder if this thing would even play. All right, I have no clue what just happened or how I got kicked out of this, but anyways, I don't know what the last thing is that you guys saw, but this is that's the original, that's the manual for it, and there was this and the little thing in here broke. But after a certain amount of boards, there was this cipher, and you had to like match up these words to like get the word or the code to like advance. So if you ever lost this or this wasn't working, you could not advance in the game. But yeah, I freaking that's what I grew up on, was Commodore 64. Right Over Bungling Bay was another fun one on Commodore 64. Load Runner was another fun one. Congo Bongo was another fun one on Commodore 64. Yeah, good times. Good times. Brings back a lot of old memories. Let's see here. I used to play Dark Forces 2 and Phantom Menace, so much I knew every crack and crevice of those games. Yeah, I love Dark Forces. Loved it. Loved it. ZX Spectrum Plus was my first system. Did not have one of those. Couldn't have been the last one. I would have lost all respect for you, LL Nick. I think you are talking 2 or 3. I'd hope for your sake. Let's see here. I never had a Commodore 64, but many friends did. I remember playing Ghostbusters in 1942 and Pit Stop on that. I played all those games. So I don't know. My dad had the hookup on games somehow. Like he knew somebody who could get copies of them. But we had a crap ton of games, and I want to say I think all that stuff, he might still have all that old Commodore 64 stuff. I'm not sure. Phantom Menace all the time just to play the most Espa map. I played Phantom Menace, but I barely remember it. System error, yeah. Back in Gary's day, they played Pong. Yeah. Hey, when I was a kid, we had an Atari too. And friends of mine had Atari, so I played Empire Strikes Back on there, which I actually have a copy of for Atari in the box. Also, Pong, Qbert, Pac-Man, of course. Sean Watts, I had a Commodore 64. My cousin had a Commodore VLC 20. Yeah, the VLC 20, was that the newer? Was that the one that came out after 64, or the one that I can't remember? All we had was the Commodore 64. Zork, yes, I vaguely remember Zork. Later, others had AML gas, but I've always been a PC gamer ever since my dad got a Zenith XT 8 megahertz 19 meg hard drive and two 5.25 with yellow black screen and Hercules graphic cards in CGA emulation. Wow. I'm surprised that you remember all that. The furthest back PC I remember us having was Intel Pentium 333 megahertz processor with, I think it was like 128 meg of RAM. Yeah, God, that was so long ago. So long ago. You hyped for a Resident Evil Village? I just pre-ordered mine for Xbox One. I saw it. It looks interesting. I'm sure I'll probably play it at some point in time. And I like Resident Evil, but I haven't played a whole lot of the last recent games to come out. The game I am most looking forward to is actually a DLC, which comes out June 10th. And that is the Final Fantasy VII remake, or what they're calling intergrade DLC for the Final Fantasy 7 remake game. That'll be on PS5. And then, of course, Diablo 2 Remastered and Diablo 4, which me and Coach will definitely be playing. And anybody that wants to play those games with us will be able to jump in there also. D&D games. I never played D&D games back in the day, but this Demon Stalkers game was sort of D&D-ish a little bit. The legendary floppy disk, yes. Yeah. I don't know if I cut out of the stream before I showed that or after I showed that, but just in case it didn't, because I didn't want to back it up. There's the disc. It's so crazy. This is what we played games on back in the day. I'd pop this thing out, load it up in the disk drive, and freaking go to town. And that's how we played our video games, man. Good times, good times. Don't do it. I guess this was right when I'd cut out. It might be, but floppy disk degradation is a real thing. Yeah, and that's why I was curious if it would even play. They came out with the Commodore 64 Mini, sort of like the NES and Sega one, but Demon Stalkers wasn't on there, and neither one were a lot of the other games that I grew up playing. So I actually never got it. But I'm curious if somebody actually has modded Commodore 64 Mini with a lot of the other games on it. You know what? I'm going to have to go on eBay. I'm going to do that right now, because I would love to play some of those old Commodore 64 games. I actually found a Super Nintendo Mini that was modded with a crap ton of games on it, but they're wanting like freaking like $250 for it or something. And I was just like, I just don't want to freaking spend that on that. That much money on it. So Commodore 64 mini version. Looks like they have a... Oh! So, looks like for $65... I'll share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. So, this is it right here. Commodore 64 Mini. And it looks like it comes with a SanDisk that has 17,000 plus games on it that I guess you can plug in. Alright, so you got a little menu. I actually remember that game right there. What was the name of that? Yeah, Impossible Mission. You had to go in these elevators and go to all these different floors. But I had the Star Wars arcade on there. I actually might get this. File loader. I guess there's a list of a bunch of the different games and stuff on there. I actually might get this though. I mean, 17,000 plus Commodore 64 games. An old Commodore 64 mini console. Might get that. It just brings back some good memories. Every Christmas, my dad would let us stay up late And that's what we'd do. We'd stay up late and play Commodore 64 games, like all night till like, 2 or 3 in the morning. When our bedtime was normally like around 8, 9 o'clock at night. But every Christmas, he let us stay up, as late as we wanted to. Final Fantasy VIII is my favorite. I liked it. I never beat 8, but I got really far in it. And I actually still got my PlayStation 1 memory card with my saved game on it from Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8. And Tifa did it. Blue screen. The Star Sky is what we saw. I guess that was when I cut out. I wrote games and made my friends play them. Oh, on D&D, Captain Edward. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. What did you guys do while the game was loading on the Commodore 64 until it was ready? I don't remember it taking too terribly long to load. But God, that was a long time ago. Like if I was to start one up and do it now, I mean, I might sit there and be like, "Oh my God, I actually waited this long to play a game." I don't remember how long load times were on the Commodore 64. Sean Watt said we had a Telstar. Yeah, I did not have a Telstar VLC. I played the very first flight simulator created by Bruce Artwick on a used Apple II back in 1979. He later sold the IP to Microsoft. Wow, 1979. Good Lord. That's the year I was born. Sean, oldest. Let's see here. German Nightmare 1976. I recall because it was top notch back then. Yeah, a lot of that. Computer stuff. I remember when ours came out, that Pentium 333 with like 128 mega RAM or something on it. That it was pretty close to top of the line back then. And then eventually when Jedi Outcast came out, I had to go upgrade our graphics card on it to even be able to play it. Oh, D&D text games. Okay. First games I ever played were River Raid and Pitfall. I loved River Raid. Oh my gosh, I freaking loved River Raid. Choplifter. That was another one. Yeah, so here's I'll share my screen. So this is River Raid. You get fuel, had to shoot the helicopters. But yeah. Yeah, River Raid. God, I love that game. Old River Raid. Yeah, I played that a ton. D&D Dark Alliance comes out in June. Yes. We were actually talking about that on the stream, and there was a lot of people that didn't even know that was even coming out. 360K for the PC before they went HD. Wow. That's high. Oh, that floppy disk, the first iteration, the only one that was actually floppy. Yeah, yeah. Because after that, they came out the little small, like 3.5 inch uh, discs, which I have some of those in some old Star Wars PC games I got in the closet. The cassette tape drive for VLC 20. Yeah, I remember that. We didn't have one, but I think my uncle had one. In a one of my friends' dads had one, so I remember them. Never played Final Fantasy VII. I'm a normal D Legend of Legola. Final Fantasy. Is that 6? Is that 6? And 10 are the GOAT, though. My brother played the crap out of 10. And I kind of stopped playing games at that point in time when 10 came out. But I know he really liked 10 because I got him into 7. And he ended up playing 7 after I did. And I did everything in 7. Like everything you could possibly do in it. If you, well, you can't do it now, but I know last month in March, if you had a PlayStation, and our PlayStation Plus member, Final Fantasy VII Remake was actually free game of the month. Dice roll combat, choose which door, that sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. I knew a lot of people that played that. I never played any of the D&D games. Floppy disk was my ex-wife's nickname for me. I'm not even gonna ask what that was in reference to, Sean. I'm scared to ask. I remember when all computer games were green and dark green. Yeah, yeah. Emulators work very well on the PC. I actually got a Nintendo emulator on this one. Me and Coach were actually testing out doing some gameplay stuff for like doing Mario 3, Contra, but it didn't work very well to play multiplayer on it. I don't know. I might get a capture card and hook like my NES Mini up, and if I'm up late, maybe just jump on here and kind of like what Jay from Game Chasers does, just play like some old retro games and just hang out and talk to you guys, answer questions, talk Star Wars games, whatever. We played games on my brother's Apple 64. He still has it. Got it for Christmas in the late 70s. Yeah, we never owned an Apple computer. I remember the first Windows computer we got was Windows 3.1. And my dad got it through his work for it was like $5,000. It's like $5,000 or something. But it came with a color printer. We had a 14.4, is a 14.4 or I think modem. So we could connect to the internet. And of course, everyone would get ready to get pissed off because they were trying to call the house, but you were on the internet. And finally, my dad just had a second phone line put in. So the house phone would still work because we were on the internet all the time. It was Netscape. That's what we used. Netscape and AOL. I mostly used the Vice emulator, the games you can find on archive sites on the web. Yeah, and I had a crap ton of those. I had several emulators, but I don't have any of that stuff on this computer. I had it on my old computer that crashed on me. I haven't gotten it. If you promise to play this on Steam, I will pitch in 20 for you. Play what, Sean? yeah, if you tell me what you're referring to, because I'll probably definitely do like some late night streaming stuff because I'm up late all the time, and maybe get on here and like play like some old retro games and stuff. Um, but yeah, just a thought that's kind of swirling around in my head. Randy Seymour Dam up late. Yeah, I'm normally always up this at this time. Patrick, favorite Commodore 64 was Silent Service submarine game. I probably played it. If I saw it, I would probably remember it. Because we had so many games. I mean, so many games. Let's see. Silent Service. Commodore 64. Let me see if I can find some video of it. Oh, I think I do remember this. Yes, I do remember this. And there was another game made by this. I think this game was made by EA. But there was another World War II game that they made. Yes, I remember this. Yeah, I'll share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Yeah, so this is Silent Service, the submarine game he was talking about. Yeah, and I remember this. Yeah, there was this navigation map. Yeah. Yep, and then when you get in range, then you jump into this spot. Golly, man. That freaking brings back some memories right there. God, it's been so freaking long since I've seen this game. But yeah, I remember that game. I can't remember what the name of the other World War II game was, but there was like a train station and that you'd come to and you'd have to get in the train. And then there was like several different like German outposts you had to take out. It was fun, man. I love those old Commodore 64 games. Spike and Madness. I remember playing Nightmare on Elm Street 3 and learning how to play piano on a keyboard, just like that one. Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was the very first Nightmare on Elm Street movie I ever saw. My dad rented it for us. I think I was in like the I was in second grade, I think. And he rented it for us, and I don't think my mom was too happy about that. But I loved Freddy. Like those kind of movies when I was a kid, they didn't scare me. Like I had a Freddy poster in my room, and like I never like looked at it while I was sleeping, thinking, "Oh my God, Freddy's gonna get me." Like I just thought he was like a cool horror movie character. You know, the only scary movies that scared me was like the true story stuff, you know, stuff on like demons and like The Exorcist and like stuff like that. That's really the only stuff that freaked me out. But like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, I never really got scared about those movies. I always found that the long loading times on the Commodore 64 made us actually talk to each other and have a good time beyond running our thumbs on the old joysticks. Yeah, I don't remember. That was so long ago. I don't remember the load times on. If there was long load times, I don't remember them. I just remember having fun playing the games. I can't remember the Commodore 64, but it was my first console at 5 to 7 years old, apparently. It was a good console. or computer. It was actually a home computer more than it was a gaming console, because you could get like a word processor on there, and like my dad did other stuff on it, you know, other than just playing games on it. Let's see, German Nightmare 1976, and then everyone moved to the 386 with a Sound Blaster or the Pentium. I never had a sound card until much, much later. Yeah, we actually had a Sound Blaster in ours. Choplifter was crazy, or the Summer Winter Games. Yes, loved Choplifter, and Summer Winter Games. It was fun too. Modding the F out of GTA was fun too. Yeah, I saw a bunch of cool GTA mods out there for sure. I never did any modding. I never played it on PC. The Richard, my ultimate goal is to design tabletop RPGs. Though I'm heavily involved in various projects, and these games will be potentially also translated into various video game or film formats. That would be cool, Richard. If you do that, let us know if you get any of that stuff done. The Star Wars tabletop game always looked interesting to me. But getting all the pieces and all the stuff for it, and getting a table that's big enough to play it on and stuff, which I actually have one that I could probably play it on. I don't know. It was going to be too much, and I don't have anybody down here that would actually play it with me, anyways. So, but it did look cool. The Never Dead. I tried playing the last Choplifter game on PS3, but couldn't ever get it to boot up. There was a Choplifter game on PS3? I still got a PS3. If there's a Choplifter game, I'm going to have to look into that. Actually, I'm going to look into that right now, because I would... Choplifter PS3. Because if there's a... Oh, yeah, there was. How did I not know about this? Oh, I did know about this, and I do have it. And I did play it. Yeah, I forgot all about this. Yeah, it was a lot harder. It was a lot harder than the original Choplifter game. But yeah, I actually have this. Yeah, it was fun. Mine loaded up. I actually played it. It was fun. I liked it. So I also got to rescue a diplomat who got lost in the jungle. Should be simple in and out. No one will even know you were there. Yeah. Predator reference. I remember Frogger on the cassette drive. Yeah, we had Frogger. Sean, $5 super chat. Nick, if you promise to stream games on that Commodore 64 from eBay, I will pitch in 20. Man, you have a deal, Sean. You have a deal. I'm gonna have to get a capture card too. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll go ahead and order it. Yeah, I'll do that. I think that'd be fun, because that'd give me something to do when I'm up late at night. I'm actually supposed to be working on comments, but I got tied up doing work stuff till like 2 in the morning. So I actually worked some overtime. But yeah, I'll get a capture card for my machine. I'll order this Commodore 64, because I would freaking love to go back and play some of those games. That'd be freaking awesome. And I'll take like requests from people, because there's a lot of games on Commodore 64 that was also on like Atari, because like Qbert was on there, Pac-Man, Frogger, all those old school games. So yeah, that'd be freaking awesome. Yeah, I would be down for that for sure. Um, let's see here. Okay, gotta go. Don't chop Rose Tico's toys heads off. Take it easy. Have a good one. Yep, you too, Jam. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out, man. Porg, have you ever played the old horror game in the mid 90s called The Seventh Guest? It used to scare the hell out of me when I was a kid and couldn't stop playing. Yes, I actually had that game and I did play it. Yeah, and there was a couple jump scare moments in that game, if I remember right. I don't think I ever beat that game, but I did play it. And I actually think that my parents still have that old game in the box and everything at the house. I think they still have all that stuff in boxes somewhere. Chat would he let me on the stream? Not now, but sometime. Voodoo Magic 101. Oh, are you talking about our pop-ins? So yeah, our pop-ins we do on our Saturday night streams. I was basically just jumping in here to talk about this Ron Johnson article, and go over this video by Justin is Lost, and talk about that. And then I'm basically just been hanging out here, talking to everybody in chat. So yeah, Saturday night, jump in on our Saturday night live stream shows, and yeah, you can pop in. We'll post the link in the chat, and feel free to pop in. Never did I remember when the Spider-Man movie game came out on my PC. My dad went through hell and high water to get our computer to run it back in 2002. Computer was making underwater noises and everything. Oh, I remember the Spider-Man game coming out back then. I never played it or got it, but I remember it coming out because I would get PC gaming mags, and all that sort of stuff. I played so many PC. I mean, I kind of went back and forth on PC and console. You know, it was back and forth with me. I've always kind of played on both. Always. I got a gaming PC. I got games on here. I got a PS3, a Super Nintendo, NES Mini, PS5, two PS4s. So yeah. But the Commodore 64, with all those games and stuff on it, that'll be fun to go back and play those. Any old fogies out there, like me and Coach, that grew up on Atari and Commodore 64 and old arcades and stuff. You'll probably remember a lot of those games. Do you play Star Wars Destiny, the card dice game? Never played it. Never played it. Games like that, you know, you got to play that with somebody. And I'm just normally here just chilling by myself, and all the people that I'm friends with down here are all musicians or ex-musicians, that play like that they got wives or girlfriends, or you know, and so we normally get together and hang out for like football games and stuff. Sometimes me and one of my buddies down here will get on and do some PlayStation multiplayer stuff, but yeah, I don't really have anybody to get together and play like board games or card games and stuff with. Yeah, the Commodore 64, yes. Yep, and I actually got that on here. They got 7 available, brand new in the box with a SanDisk with the 17,000 plus games on it. Richard, message me anytime all starts with talking, seeing if the projects will work for you. It's no biggie. My team working on creating game shows, lack of better words, for YouTube. Oh, huh, interesting. Yeah, we were actually thinking about doing. We were actually thinking about doing a trivia thing, sort of like March Madness, like with a bracket system, and get a bunch of other YouTubers involved and like make a bracket out, like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Robert Meyer Burnett, Star Wars Theory, Gary from Nerdrotic, Doomcock, and have like questions sent in from you guys on like Star Trek, Doctor Who, Star Wars, anything pop culture, entertainment related, but get you guys to send them in, and then each week or during our Saturday night show, we would have like the next person, or we would have one person or two people from each bracket on either side go after each other for that night, ask the questions. The loser would be X'd out, the winners would move on, and we would do that all the way till it was the top two, which would probably Robert Meyer Burnett and Gary from Nerdrotic, maybe, if I had to guess, who would end up going up against each other. But we wouldn't put like Gary and R&B like in the first bracket. Like we would put it out to like kind of keep like the most knowledgeable people kind of separate from the other ones, until things started getting close to the end. But yeah, we were actually thinking about maybe doing something like that. I have insomnia bad, so night owls unite. Yeah, Coach's dad his name for me was Nick the Night Owl. That is what he called me, because I would always be up late, and I'd always be the one keeping Coach up or keeping Coach out all night. Coach would be rolling back in the house at 3 in the morning. His dad's asleep in his chair in the living room. Boy, what are you doing? You know what time it is? Insomnia sucks, though. You meet an interesting mix of people. Yeah. Yes, for sure. Let's see. There are a lot of great Star Wars board and card games out there. Loving Imperial Assault. Yeah, I've seen a lot of those games out there. I don't have anybody to play them with. And I don't have really the money to spend on a lot of that stuff, because I think some of that stuff's pretty expensive. Some of the ones I looked into were real expensive, especially that the Star Wars tabletop game. Like buying all the different ships and stuff for that. Yeah, it's not cheap. Not cheap. I recall Wolfpack on the PC by Nova Logic, but that was early 90s. I remember Wolfpack. I actually had that game. Nova Logic made some really good games. They made an Apache helicopter game, and I think they made this other game called Comanche. I think they might have been the developers of that one. It was also a helicopter game. And my dad loved that Comanche helicopter game. Yeah, and I liked it too. It was pretty fun. Jaws on NES. Yes, I actually played Jaws on NES not too long ago. So yeah, if I get a capture card and get this Commodore 64 Mini, I'll be able to hook my NES Mini up to it that's got like 1,000 NES games on it. And I'll be able to play that stuff on there. Also, I'll just have to like switch out one cable to go from system to system on, whoever sends in requests for games or something. Yeah, those sound effects, man. Those sound effects on those old games, man. Oh, good God, I'm like so far behind in the chat. Nick, I was referring to that Nintendo you saw on eBay for like 60. The Nintendo. I already got a NES. Yeah, what I was looking at was the Commodore 64 Mini that had like 17,000 games. But I got an NES Mini already. I just need a capture card to be able to stream it on here. I'm gonna have to do that through OBS. I'm not gonna be able to do that through StreamYard. Let's see. Capture cards. Yeah, those capture cards are not freaking cheap. I just need one that will work. I've never actually looked at these. I was just seeing if they had some cheap used ones on here. Let's see here. Yeah, these things are definitely not cheap. Let's see let me sort by price. Let's see, buy it now. Item location. Alright, so it looks like those ones are bidding. It's not letting me. Let me look on Amazon. Good God, yeah. Yeah, it looks like they're like $200. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one of those, so that I can hook that up to. I can hook my Nintendo, and hook up Commodore 64, any other system, and I'll actually be able to stream those games on here. Let's see here. Choplifter was awesome. Yes, I loved freaking. So if you guys remember, Choplifter on Commodore 64 was a lot different than hang on, let me share my screen here. Alright, so this was the Choplifter I grew up playing. And I got the volume up all the way. Little American flag. But yeah, you had to take the tanks out, and then when you found the guys you wanted to pick up, but yeah, this was the kind of stuff I grew up playing right here. And I think there was another one. I want to say there was a Choplifter 2. But yeah, you take them back to the base, drop them off. There's a crap ton of boards on there. Like Load Runner, I remember that game. God, man, it freaking was. It seemed like that game just went on forever. Pitfall 2, yep. Played both of those. Awesome games. I was in the Pong phase of gaming. Good times. I played that too. We had the controllers for that. I loved Pong. Pitfall 2 was as much as they could stuff inside a cartridge. Yes. That game, let's see here. Pitfall 2. Yeah. This one was definitely, God, I remember this music. I'll share my screen here so you can see it. Yeah, they definitely, increased the graphics, like of the background with the trees. It definitely looked better than the first Pitfall game. But this is the kind of stuff that was so much fun to play back then. Yep, the little gold that you pick up. Pitfall 1, you'd have the alligators in the pond. You'd have to jump on their heads, when their mouths were shut. What was Congo Bongo? That was another one I played all the frickin' time. 1983 version. Freaking stupid ads. I should pull this up under my personal account instead of the Echo Base one. I wouldn't have all these ads. But yeah, this is another one I played the crap out of. Me and my sister would actually play 2-player on this. But this game was actually really hard. I would always die on the jumping or get killed by these stupid monkeys or get hit by the freaking coconuts he was throwing or fall in the little water. Like, I don't know if I even ever made it past this second board. Like, I was literally like 4 years old, 4 years old, So these games were actually really hard for me. My dad was a lot better at them than I was. But yeah, Congo Bongo, that was another one that I freaking played all the time. Where is my mouse? Yeah, good times, good times, good times. Fenner Fire, F Ruin Dong Song. PS3 stores now closing on April 25th. Phil McCracken, I heard that they were actually reversing that decision, and that they were not going to be closing the PS3 store down. They got such backlash from it. Let me confirm this here. Yeah, right here, 17 hours ago. PlayStation Store for PS3 and PlayStation Vita will not shut down, Sony announces. This has been confirmed. The PlayStation Store for PlayStation 3 and Vita will not shut down. Sony announced on Monday, reversing a decision that left many players wondering what would happen to their digital content on the legacy platforms. It's clear that we made the wrong decision here, Sony Interactive Entertainment president said in a post to the PlayStation blog. Ron said that PlayStation Store access for the PS3 and Vita, launched in 2006 and 2011 respectively, will continue. Yeah, the storefront for the PSP is the only one that's closing down, and it's closing down on July 2nd, as originally planned. PSP owners had very limited access to the storefront. I still got my PSP. I also got a Vita that my nephew threw up all over, and it doesn't even work anymore, right? That was actually pretty irritating. But I loved the Vita. I bought the PSP literally to play Crisis Core. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. So yeah, it is not shutting down. They get a lot of backlash on that. It's also pretty sad that FFG canceled Star Wars Destiny. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that, but I wasn't really on top of that game. Hero was one of my favorite 2600 games. What was Hero? Do I remember this game? I played so many, like, unless I see it, like, I won't remember it.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm the Limey Dragon, and this is Let's Play Hero.
I think I do remember this game. Of course, it's freaking taking forever to freaking.
And no, not that.
Yes,
yes,
I do remember this game. Yeah, I remember this.
Yes.
Yep.
And yes.
Yeah, if I hadn't have pulled it up,
Nice,
I wouldn't have remembered it.
Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, another Activision game. Yep. Yep, I remember that. Let's see here. All right, let me get caught up on here. I'm so freaking behind. Let's start here. I recall our sleepovers at a friend's place, sadly passed last year, where two played on the PC while the other two occupied the Commodore 64. Before we watched horror movies, our elder siblings rented for us. Yeah, I miss those days too. It just seemed like such a simpler time as a kid. You know, having to spend the night parties and staying up playing video games all night, you know, having the parents order pizza and, you know, drinking Coke and, you know, eating Doritos and chips and stuff and staying up all night. Good times, good times. Richard, I only played video games for fun for basically about one weekend a year. It's too addictive, no joke, though I'm addicted to creating games and, of course, all the other stuff I'm involved in. Yeah, the last game I was probably addicted to was the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I pretty much played it non-stop until I 100% completed everything there was to do in the game. Before that was Destiny, Battlefield 3 before that. But a lot of other games I'll just pick up and play for a little while, and then I might not touch them again for, you know, a month or so. But yeah, video games can be very addictive for sure. Captain Edward loading, yeah. Fenrir Fire, Hail the Richard, yes. Everybody Hail the Richard. Never did finish a game. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Never did. I don't know if that was a conversation. I don't know if that was to me or to somebody else in the chat. Echo Base Squares. Yeah, so sort of similar to that a little bit, but it's more going to be like a trivia square. Sort of like the Schmodown. Sort of similar to that they would do over there in Collider. You know, it would kind of be something similar to that. EBN gives. Yes, we try. Captain Edward, you'd never survive my game. Probably not, since I have never ever played those kind of games. I'd probably be lost. Heart has TV. Go to sleep. Good man. Yeah. I'm probably gonna wrap this up here in just a minute. Cool, Echo, as you know, I'm here, and never did I hear you. Feel free to contact me anytime. Let's see, I've been on Cyberpunk for 3 weeks now, and only now have made it past the prologue. Yeah, I heard that game did not get very good. Was not getting very good reviews, to say the least. All right, let's see here. Activision was ahead of the curve. They knew how to maximize the fun in the space they had in a cartridge. Yep. Now they're a greedy corporation, like most all the other big game company corporations. Fender Fair off to work. Have a great day, everyone. All right, Fender Fire. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Patrick, love playing Missile Command. Yes, that was one of my dad's favorite games, Missile Command. We played the crap out of that. Yes, everybody listen to the Richard and hit that like button if you have not hit it already. It really does help out the channel. I'm sure that's why you always hear the YouTubers saying it. Smash that like button. Anyone here in the chat playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PS4? I have it on PS4. I have not played it in a long time, though. I haven't even finished the story campaign of the DLC. I actually need to go back and finish that, though, because I actually like the game. It's just the multiplayer on it, I don't know. Maybe it was just because I didn't have a whole lot of people I was playing it with. It wasn't that fun for me, just kind of chilling here playing it by myself. Oh, you want me to play the whole game on Hero?
Yes. No, not this again. The worst part of the game. Patience.
Let's see. Let me go back to one where maybe the person's not talking. Oh my god, the freaking stupid ads. I'm about to fix that. Yeah, that hero game, it was fun. Let's see here. Rebel Assault A-Wings are number 1. Yeah, I love Rebel Assault. Me and Coach are going to be finishing up. We haven't played X-Wing Alliance in a minute. We'll probably be doing some of that this week and getting back on that. Thank you, Yesser, for smashing that like button for us, man. We appreciate it. Cheers, M8. I play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on PS4 and PC sometimes. I don't have it on PC, but I got it on PS4. Look up Haunted House for Atari. Haunted House. I'm pretty sure I played that one. It sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, I do remember this game. Yeah, I do remember this game. I never understood what you were supposed to. I never understood this game. I never knew what I was supposed to do in this. Like, I would just run around and hit all these things and the colors would change, and I was like, alright, well, like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? I knew that you're supposed to avoid the ghosts when they would show up. But I never understood what the object was, like what I was supposed to be doing. Let's see here. Imagine EBN crew, that'd be fun. I opened group 13th Legion. I'm surprised Nick is up this late. You guys rock. Man, I'm up this late almost every single night. Coach is normally will call me on his way to work in the morning, and I'll just be going to sleep. Because I don't gotta log in for work till 3 in the afternoon. Oh, don't get caught, so I guess that's the object. Sean wants I feel like a kid again. Yeah. Yeah, that's, and they actually have Atari 2600 minis with mods on them that have lots of different games. LOL, way to create a rabbit hole, Sean. I might have watched that gameplay for hours. Yeah, there was raid over bungling. I think this is how you spell it. Yes. So this was another one right here. This was the same people that made Choplifter. There was another helicopter game. And this was a great studio. A great software company that made awesome games back in the day. Like they made like some of the best games. But this raid on Bungling Bay was awesome. You'd start off on this aircraft carrier. You'd have to go bomb these factories and stuff. You had a little map down there. But there'd be these anti-aircraft guns, and you had to go to these the object was to find all these factories, and you had to land on them and basically bomb them. But you'd have to watch out for like jets that would come in, anti-aircraft guns. It was fun. Sound effects are great, yes. Pele Soccer 2. Was that another game? If there was a soccer game on Atari, I don't know if I ever played it. There was one of the other Comanche PC game, 1992. Yeah, this game right here was like for the graphics and stuff back in 92. Yeah, Nova Logic. They also made some of those really good games. But at the time, the graphics and stuff on this game were just like, I remember just being like, God, this is like insane, like how good this is. But this was one of the simulator helicopter games that that me and my dad played a lot. He really liked this game. Tons of different mission goals, stuff you had to take out.
We did it. Let's head home.
Yeah, fun stuff, fun stuff. Bonk on TurboGrafx 16. Bonk on TurboGrafx 16. Did I play that? I played TurboGrafx. TurboGrafx 16. I have to see the game to remember it. Oh, I think I do remember this. Yeah, I remember this game. I played this at a friend's house. Yeah, I remember this game. I never owned it, but I played it. Pole position. Yeah, I definitely had it on. I definitely had it on Commodore 64 because I played the crap out of it. I played the crap out of this game. This was actually the game I was in the middle of playing when my sister spilt milk on the Commodore 64 and completely crapped out the whole thing. And we didn't have my dad never got another one. But this was the game I was in the middle of playing when our Commodore 64 crapped out on us from my sister spilling milk on it. Let's see here. The Richard, oh yes, I recall this. I ended up working at a game shop in 98 that gave us demos. This company turned into something else, can't recall. The Flight Center was one of my favorites. I still have some. Oh yeah, talking about Comanche. Yeah, by Nova Logic. Yeah, the other one I played was a stealth fighter simulator, and there was another Apache helicopter simulator that I played that was really good. Rex, pole position was amazing at the time. Yeah, it was. I'm gonna have to, let's see, the Richard. I finally got a really fun rip off of pole position here somewhere. It was a generic system. Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm gonna have to get a capture card and hook up my NES Mini and get that Commodore 64 one. I think it'd be fun to sit here and kind of go through a lot of those old games that a lot of us played as kids growing up. Reminiscent of simpler times. Night Driver was a very early 2600 game. Night Driver. 2600. I'm sure I played it. Oh, yeah, I do remember this. I never had this game, but another kid in the neighborhood, they had an Atari, and literally, I think they had like, I swear, it was like 200 games or something crazy. Like, they literally had 2 drawers in like this, like small dresser drawer thing, and both of them was just filled with Atari 2600 games. Like, we would literally go through there and just be like, crap, I've never played this one before. Let's try it out, you know? I'm good at racing on better systems than real cars. Yeah. Captain Edward. Alright, so you remember this game too? Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, it's 5:45 in the morning. I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours. So I think I'm gonna wrap this thing up, let the dogs out, and hit the sack. But I might jump back on for another random late night stream tomorrow. Me and Coach might do a video tomorrow, or maybe get on some X-Wing Alliance. Get back on that. So definitely be on the lookout for that as well. All right, Richard, I'll check it out. I spent most of my time on Defender, Space Marine. Yeah, we had all 3 of those games for sure. Bye, babe. Thank you, Nick. This was awesome. Yep, I was glad to be here streaming. Thanks for jumping in and checking it out and hanging out with me. Let's see, real quick before I go. Let's see. Captain Edward said check out Corecraft. Game. I don't know if I remember this game. Is this a new game, or is this a mobile game? Maybe this is the... I don't think I ever played this. It doesn't look familiar. Oh, Corecraft is new. Okay. All right, that's why I don't recognize it. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. But yeah, guys, thanks for hanging out with us, or hanging out with me, since Coach is obviously still sleeping. But we'll probably be back on later on tonight playing some X-Wing Alliance maybe. But until then, we'll see y'all later. Thanks, guys.